Hello, can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? I have no idea. I think we're live. Are we live? That's the real question because we have no idea here. Oh, we are. What up, dudes? Okay. What up, dogs? How we doing tonight? How we doing? I'm so excited for tonight. I just had some coffee. I'm feeling good. I am stoked to hang out, to vibe, to chill, to hang with all my dudes tonight. So there's already been a whole bunch of you guys popping in the chat already. We've already had some donations. We've had some Patreon pledges, I think we call it. Yep, pledges. And we're going off tonight. So what I want to do tonight is answer as many questions as possible. The thumbnail is a half pipe, but I'm not necessarily targeting tonight's chat as half pipe. I just thought it was a really cool photo. Got that little clip today. So if you guys have any questions about something you're struggling with turns, you're struggling with rails, you're struggling with, I don't know, strapping in. Go ahead and pop that in the chat. And then if you guys want to skip the line, the way that works is I will expedite your answer / jump on that answer as soon as possible. If you use the donation, I did pin the donation there on the little chat box. So if you want to donate, that definitely does support the channel, helps pay for season passes, batteries, clothes, giveaways, jackets, like all those kind of things, fancy lights in the background, those kind of things. And then also some of that money is going to go towards starting a couple new companies, which I will talk to you guys about a little bit later if you guys are interested, of course. And I'm hoping, oh yeah, you guys can hear me, I think. And then after that, I did add a Google Drive doc. So if you guys are interested, and we may get into it tonight, we may not, just kind of depending on how the vibe goes, I did add a Google Drive folder where I need you to label your name and label the trick. Now, ideally, for me, is that you have the whole entire trick like cut up so that I'm not watching 17 minutes of you riding down the run, into the lodge, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then coming back out. But like kind of getting straight to the point, just so that it's an expedited process, you know? Trying to get nerdy out here. So that's definitely gonna be one thing. And then if you guys have any questions, what I've also done is I've imported over 500 of my Instagram breakdowns, which Instagram, we are freaking, we're growing. We're at 77.7K. I'm hoping to get to 100,000, not because it boosts my ego, more because holy cow, imagine if we helped 100,000 people become better at snowboarding, and we help them either inspire, educate, or inform. I guess it's still educating, entertain, educate, or you know, just get them stoked, you know what I mean? So if you guys are not following the Instagram, I post every single day. So a lot of chat, a lot of stuff, a lot of hanging out, a lot of vibes. Hopefully you guys are amazing and everything. So with that said, I'm gonna hop in the chat, but first I'm gonna answer a donation from our boy. We're gonna have Karen, she's our Karen's our lovely assistant. Karen, will you help us out?
Hi Tommy, I'd like your advice on why I am not landing jumps and also how to stay balanced in the air. I am feeling off balance when I take off from the lip of the jump. Will you allow us to post a video again so you can check form, etc.? Thanks, man.
Boom. Yes, dude. So, Jose, if you are able to post that in the chat, in the Google Drive, I'm gonna check the Google Drive right now. If you are able to, I'm gonna open another window. I got like 36,000 windows in here. But if we're able to pop in the drive real quick, and then I'm gonna be able to look at it. So let's see if it's in there. If not, I landed it, Tommy. I don't know who that is. Dude, when were you posting that? Last modified being last opened. Okay. Okay, so okay, so will you pop that in the chat so I can help you out, because I definitely want to help you. So you don't have to necessarily donate again, but definitely let me know if you're going to be in there again. Oh, my nose is itchy. But if you're able to upload that video so I can see it, that could be very, very, very useful so that I can definitively know what's going on. And I've put that thing in the chat. You're just going to have to find it. But another thing I wanted to say was a lot of times when... when you're taking off, it's and you're not in a balanced position, you feel like you're struggling, you're challenged. A lot of it just stems from being in a less awesome position that's making things just way harder for you. So you could be with your lead shoulder open, you could be leaning back, you could be over your heels versus over your tails. And when you're not in a balanced and centered position, that ends up making snowboarding way harder because you're working against yourselves. Ideally, you're in a stacked position. So this is my shoulder, this is my boards. You're in a stacked position, you jump straight up, straight down. Anytime I start to deviate from this, I'm going to create a different outcome. And sometimes that outcome is intentional, sometimes it's not intentional. But ideally, you're stacked, you jump up, straight down, you can jump up, grab your board, do a little this, that, and the other, and then pop it back down. So hopefully that helps, my dude. Ooh, man, I got some. My nose itches. Okay, so we got another $5. And Steven Clinyard, dude, thank you so much for the $20 pledge via Patreon, dude. I appreciate that. Patreon page, you guys, if you're in a member at a certain tier or Patreon, I give you guys like not exclusive videos, but firsthand glimpse at the video. So I upload the videos to you guys, and then you guys get the vibe, get to see it, get to comment on it, be the first ones to comment. I check those comments. I'm able to like read them first, and then from there, you're yeah, and then that helps me and supports the channel for sure. Dude, there's a lot of you guys here, so I'm gonna say what's up to you, all you guys. Andrew Strong says, what are some tricks that you can learn some semi-flat hills that still look cool? Also, can you do a handstand on a snowboard? Ooh, that is a good question, my dude. All right, so we're gonna go from there to there. So you're looking for semi-cool. Here's one. So I don't have handstands, but I do have this, which is a cartwheel. I don't know if you've seen this before, Andrew, but I got cartwheels. I broke this down on Instagram. Boom. It's a good one. It's definitely a fun one. I dig that one a lot. That one's pretty fire. There's another one called Hot. Okay, what? I have a hot garbage in here, but maybe I didn't label it appropriately. Oh, it's Keystone. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna find. Ooh, this one. Oh yeah, see, hot garbage. I don't understand. Here's another one that's like semi-flat ground. Hold on, we gotta look at this high res because we're not looking at this full HD. Then what are we doing with our lives? So go ahead and ooh, so we go nollie. And then you go nollie, you go forward, you take your lead knee and you pull it across your body, extend your back leg, and then shifty, and then do that little skirt around back to your toe side edge. Holy cow. That is another good example. Those two things are really sick. Yeah, those things are really fun. So hopefully that helps, dude. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Let's go. There's so many of you guys here. I freaking love this. We got Michael in the house. He was here early. We got Clark Sell says that he's been snowboarding for the first time this year. Right? Clark says something along those. Tommy, brother, just wanted to say thank you so much for putting out the content. Just picked up snowboarding this year at the age of 45. Love every minute of it, and you're a big help. Thanks, dude. Let's go. That's so freaking sick, man. I'm stoked to help. And you got 200 runs, but they're Minnesota or Midwest runs. Let's go. Eric Zerowin, what up, dog? Borealis, hey, Adventures says, what's up? Killing it. Squats. Big deal for sure. Shane says, anyone going to North Star on Thursday? Dude, perfect. And yeah, anybody going to North Star? Hit up the boy Shane. Let's go. Back up in the top of the chat. Grandpa Bob, I had a guy tell me to use my backhand like a rubber with counter rotation. Obviously hasn't been watching Tommy's videos. Oh, like that? Now that, with turning in general, let me change this back over. With turning in general, there's so many different ways to turn, and there's certain times where certain turns are more awesome, and then sometimes they're inefficient and they waste a lot of energy. Sometimes blah, blah, blah. So there's so many different styles, but I definitely recommend learning knee steering because knee steering allows you to get early edge engagement and turn the snowboard sooner. I'm actually dropping a video this week, and maybe you guys can help me out this, like pop in the chat. I'm going to get to that, Rick, here in a hot second, my dude. Thank you so much for the $20 donation, dude. It's popping off. So what I was going to say was, I have no idea. Pop in the chat if you're awesome. Holy cow, I don't know. Oh, yes, Friday's video is like the 5 most common bad, not so awesome body positions that are hindering your ability to turn. And turns are literally the gateway to snowboarding. You wanna go ride street, you wanna go ride park, you wanna go ride half pipe, backcountry, carving, groomers, whatever it is, you gotta be able to turn. You gotta be able to go left, you gotta be able to go right. So I talk about these body positions that are making it harder for you to actually turn. There's so many inefficient body positions that feel intuitive but are counterproductive. So maybe you guys can let me know what a good like video title for that is. I was gonna do like 5 reasons why you suck at turning a snowboard, but then that's so aggressive and like people are gonna be defensive, so I don't like that. But that's kind of like, there's so many things that people, like general population, is not doing that is making snowboarding harder, and that's the goal, is to make it easier, right? We want to rip through some trees, we got to be able to turn and rip through the trees. And talking about body position, how you initiate the turn, how you actually rip it around is such a big deal. So that's going to be dropping on Friday. If you're a member or Patreon, I'm dropping that tomorrow because I had my editor edit it. And yeah, so rip it on. Moving on, we got Rick with a freaking question here. Rick Dog says, drive semi-trucks for a job. I have a question about what passes to get Epic or Icon. Okay, that is such a great question. So there's a double-edged sword. I think either way, you're gonna have a sick time as long as wherever you're going has that resort. Because if you're on Epic, you can go through Utah. Hopefully, you know, you can send my trucks running through I-70. You're gonna get Utah, which would have Park City / Canyons, which is a massive, massive, massive resort, which is super sick. But then when you go to Colorado, you could also have Beaver Creek, Breckenridge, Keystone, Vail, Beaver Creek, if I didn't already said that. But then you also have Copper, and Copper is like one of my jams. But then if you want to go to Mammoth, that's Icon. So I personally I get both passes, which is not ideal, but I get both passes. And with both passes, that allows me to kind of go wherever I want. But if you're running I-70 corridor, I feel like the Epic's pretty fire. Agree or disagree? Let me know. Oh, dude, let's go. Borealis says, stop doing these 5 body position mistakes for your video title. All right, okay, so we always have to have the word snowboard in it so that YouTube or YouTube helps us out. So maybe like stop doing these 5 bad body positions on your snowboard. Stop doing these 5 bad body position snowboard stuff. I like pizza, LOL. We also got Jeremy. What up, Jeremy? Bro, I've been instructing on Sundays at Mount Hood and love it. I get most of my teaching material from your videos. I absolutely love teaching. Jeremy, that's so freaking sick, dude. Sharing the love. That is so fun about like snowboarding, is if you bring your energy and excitement for snowboarding and then you share that with people, you're on the front line of somebody having the sickest experience with snowboarding or sickest association with snowboarding or not. Right? You can make that day sick or not sick. So that's super sick that you're actually doing that. Jeremy says, I'm on day 38 of riding this year, shooting for 100. May have to include summer riding at Timberline to get that though. Oh, 100%. You may have to do that because there's really like only like 3 months, I think, at Timberline? Or not, Meadows, probably 3 more. Tips on how not to pre-spin backside rotations. I actually want to do another video on like big jump tricks for sure, LOL. I'm going to scroll back up. I know guys, if I've missed your question, I apologize. You have a couple options. Don't spam it, but you can donate or just copy and paste down below. But I try to answer as many questions as we can, but there's so many of you guys here. This is freaking awesome. Kevin says, hey, yo, what up, dog? Ethic says, Tommy, what up, dude? Derek Warden says, what's up, dog? Dude, what up? Bree, I can do shifties off side hits or is not enough air? Oh, Bree, 100%. You can do shifties off side hits because like the reality is you're only rotating your board 90 degrees and then back. So you could actually ollie and shifty and bring it back if you really wanted to. And if you ollie or jump off something, you're only getting this much air anyways. If you saw today's Instagram post, I do like a backside 360, like this high off the ground. But your movements just have to be very rapid and in high intensity to be able to go, bring them back. So with that said, you could definitely do it. But if you get low on those side hits and really push into the ground so that you project your body up, you're gonna get more hang time. When you have more hang time, you're feeling good. You have more time in the air to vibe and to like send it. So definitely definitely do that. Get lower for sure. Just checking this Google Drive. Haven't gotten anything yet. Haven't gotten anything from our boy, Jose. We just got another $5 donation. Says, Brandon, what's up, dog? How we doing? Love the channel, dude. I'm hitting all the boxes in small fat rails. How can I progress to the smaller, longer rails? Ooh, that's definitely a good question. When it comes to like those rails, it's just about doing what you're doing and staying on the path that you're on, which is you got to find the feature and then you got to take the right approach. Now, sometimes when the features get longer, instead of hitting them straight on, you may have to hit them from the side. So learning like an urban on style feature could be really, really important. So if you go over here to like how to side approach is a really nerdy video. We're gonna mute that guy. Really look at him. It was like a couple years ago. It was like 2019, so it's only 3 years. Never mind. Being dramatic. All right, so like notice here that I'm about to come in from the side. Oh, because I'm talking about it. Where is it? Oh, how to frontside 50-50. All right, so you come in from the side and you just ride the whole thing. This may be something where you're gonna have to learn down the road, is being able to hit from the side. So that video, how to snowboarding, how to side approach a rail, could be a really good video for sure. But also, keeping your eyes and lead, shoulder, and hip, especially on a 50-50, looking at the end of the rail. If you're going board side, you're still gonna need to keep your lead, shoulder, and eyes at the end of the rail, but look at the end of the rail. But if you're, a lot of times, you may have to start doing this urban on thing just to be able to like do better. Tyler, can you explain a hybrid board like rocker, camber, hybrid? Ooh, that is a good question. Which also, so, you know, let's say that, okay, I'm gonna try to do my best with this nice, look at this little Tommy Bennett envelope, how cute. So you have your camber snowboard, looks like this. And then you have your reverse camber board, looks like this. And then when it comes to a combination, you could have like a camber in the center and then flex like this, where you have like rocker at the tip and tail. So then the camber is acting as a stabilizer, and then your tip and tail act as more of like a boat that's gonna float. So it tries to give you the versatility of, well, can I float in powder and have that flexibility of like riding on the POW, but then also having a stable platform in between. Of course, you could do the opposite, where you have like a little bit more of a pivot point in the center, and then your camber is out like that, and then this goes down, and then this goes down, so it looks like this a little bit. And with that second one, then the ends of your snowboard are really like rigid is the right word I'm looking for, is rigid. So then you have a little bit more pop or pressure that you can build on the tip and tail, but then in the center, it kind of acts a little different. So hybrids are trying to be as more versatile as possible. When you have a camber snowboard that looks like this kind of board is so amazing for carving, hitting big jumps, going fast, like stable. And then when you want to pop or Ollie, you essentially decamber the board, and the board naturally wants to go like this again. So you get a lot more pop out of it. But if your camber board's a reverse camber board, you don't get as much pressure able to build because your board's already this direction. But then think about this boat-like style board going in POW. It's already floating, where the other one wants to dive down like a submarine, or we have boat or submarine. So understanding the application of what you're riding in, and then finding a board that builds on that. Boom. Andrew Strong with that. I just got a Solomon Huck knife. I'm so ready to go ride on Friday. Also, what board do you ride? So I mainly ride two different boards. I ride a So I mainly ride two different boards. One would be the Academy Proper Camber, which is a more playful camber board. It's like micro camber, but it's more playful. And then when it comes to hitting like bigger jumps, or my daily driver is a Burton Custom True Twin, asymmetrical. So the heel side is different than the toe side. The shapes are not the same. It is it is like tip to tail, but not from heel to toe. It's a little different. But I'm a big camber. I don't own a reverse camber board. I don't own a hybrid board. Don't like them. I don't like the way they feel. I love a stable, strong platform. Yeah, rep. Hopefully that helps, dude. Hope, and I've heard great things about the Solomon hook knife. I used to get flow from Solomon for a long time. It's definitely a good time. Terry says, yo, the Yoda of snowboarding. Let's go, Terry, dude. I appreciate that. You calling me like mad old, bro? Boria says, stop doing these body positions. We talked about that already. Ben Wright, Widgelt says, hey, Tommy, what's up, my dude? Or my guy. What up, dog? How we doing? BD says, throw your backpack to distract the bear. Let's go, MD. 100%. Definitely want to do that while snowboarding. I love pizza. 5 worst snowboard postures. Ooh, that's fire. Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to copy. We're going to go to my notes. We're going to press Command Spacebar, type in notes. And then we're going to go Command Paste. And then we're going to go back here. Keyboard shortcuts, such a game changer, by the way. Sierra says, I'm in Keystone. If I'm already intimidated, then is it worth intermediate? Is it worth getting lessons or easier to teach myself in the park and stuff? I honestly am such an advocate for getting lessons because let's be honest. I could improve my snowboarding if I get the right teacher, the right coach, the right educator. They're going to pick my snowboarding apart and help me become better. A lot of my own snowboarding nowadays is self-taught, not self-taught, self-evaluated and changed.
Been too long. Happy to see you're still feeding the stoke.
Dude, I'm going to get to that in a second, but Andrew, you're amazing, bro. Riders Rally, question mark? I think I'm going to go this year, beat you dub. But the question was, should you get a lesson? Even my own snowboarding, I can improve and somebody could pick apart my riding. I need to self-evaluate and say, okay, that looks sloppy because this, and I got to figure it out on my own and then implement that change versus somebody else being like, hey, try this. So at really any level, you can get better. Professional snowboarders have coaches, whether it's the US team, whether it's another team, they have coaches to make them more awesome. So I definitely think that helps expedite your process, your learning curve. I think it's sick. I would do it. If you have the money, full send could make the sickest time ever. You could also create some great relationships. You can try something else you don't remember or you didn't know. Let's go. Eskimo Snow says, Tommy, you came up with some more subs. Congrats. I remember 14K. Dude, I remember your name and I remember you being in the chat last year, 100%. Dude, let's go. Yeah, I'm super thankful for the growth. I'm super excited. Not exactly sure where. Can we have that Dropbox to put your videos in, please? Yes, I popped that in there already. Let me get it for you again. Copy link. So I did post it, dude. I did post it. I'm going to post it again. Oh, that's not what I want. Okay, hold on. I'm going to post this for you, dude. So I posted it. It's up in the chat, but I'll repost it. Just give me a second. I'll find this link for you real quick. Where is it? Google Drive, Google Clips, Snowboarder, subscriber, videos, get link, copy link. Going back to the chat. There we go, dude. I posted it in the chat again. Okay, so yeah, $5 from our boy Shred with Drew. Dude, Shred with Drew is an instructor, dude, I met like 10 years ago. He's been a boy for a while. He instructs a whole bunch at Vail, and he's been on the grind, so I definitely stoked to see you back here, dude. And he does the $3.60 donation, which is the 360 snowboard trick. Nerd, let's go. Hey, are you doing Riders Rally, my dude? Yay. Okay, post that in there. And then we also got a $5 donation from JR, question mark? JR. Let's see. My wife has a mental block on toe side turns. New border. Any tips? Let's go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. So I got some tips for you, and I'm gonna try to give you a couple resources just so that you have it. So you go to my main YouTube channel, go to search over here in the right-hand corner. You should be able to see that. Yeah, okay. So there we go. So then just type in turn. Now I have these videos right here. How to turn. This is a really sick video. It's one, not my most popular video, but it's definitely up there. This video talks about turning a lot. Now this video is gonna give her and you the fundamental understanding of turning, knee steering, and getting you to understand the body positions. Now, if you're a rip, now you don't have to be the rippinest rider, but this other one, how to turn a snowboarder beginning coaching session, I actually grab on to Ark. He's the man, he's a camper. I literally grabbed his hand and forced his body to make that turn. But what was cool about that is I was building those turns through a progressive thought process as well as hand holding. So as he was riding, I was forcing his body in the positions that are right to make the turn, but giving him confidence that if he falls, I'm gonna save him. If he's starting to go down, I can save him by making him turn. There's so many different things that allow me to save that body position. So I would check out this bottom video first, how to turn your snowboard beginner guide, and then go to the second one, how to turn. Now after that, let me see here. I'm gonna scroll back up because we have this one right here. I'm gonna try to post this like, why do you not go full res? I don't understand. Oh, that's terrible. So notice how my shoulder is anticipating the turn, allowing my board to go. So I'm not driving the rotation through my shoulder, but I'm allowing knee steering. So the biggest thing for her is building that confidence and getting her to make that turn. Where are we going over here? So building her confidence, allowing her to have 60% of her weight in the lead foot, and then being able to put that shoulder, hip in a position that's anticipating the turn, and then you use your knee to actually steer the turn around. And that body positions and mechanics going to give her so much more confidence because she's going to be able to turn easier. And if you turn easier, then it feels easier. So hopefully that helps, my dude. There's a lot of resources there. I hope that can definitely help you, my dude. Diddy says, yo, I was saying open the door and squeeze the bug almost every turn. Dude, see? My boy Diddy over here, watch the video. Open the door and squish the bug is such a game changer. And I talk about that this week, by the way. I definitely talk about that. But dude, let's freaking go. I'm super hyped on that. We also just got you guys are popping off tonight. I wish I could read all of these like, yeah, it's weird. Some reason my chat isn't showing it. What the rip, dude? I posted it twice. I just posted it again. It says Google Drive folder from Tommy Bennett. Hopefully that helps, dude. If not, what you can do is DM me on Instagram and I'll get to yours. You send me the video on Instagram. You guys like my phone? It's broken. DM me on Instagram and I'll get to your video. You donated. I don't want to leave you hanging. TL says, what separates a beginner from an intermediate or advanced? Is it the trail, slopes, or the maneuvers? I think it's a little bit of everything, to be honest. A beginner rider has a hard time processing body positions, movements, speed, agility, control, speed management, awareness. All of those things are so foreign. Think about a dude who is just starting a kid. We got our licenses, but before we had our license, when we've been driving our car for 36 years, we had to get our learner's permit. Well, remember the first time you didn't know how to put your seatbelt on? Well, this is weird. I didn't know how to change my mirrors. This felt weird gripping the steering wheel. Which one's the brake? Which one's the gas? All those things are beginner things that we all struggle with. So for us as snowboarders, the beginner would be, how do I strap in? How do I do a heel side turn? How do I toe side turn? How do I ride a chairlift? How do I get on the chairlift, get off the chairlift? How do I wear my goggles? Like those things are just inexperience. You go out 50 times, you're not gonna be, those certain beginner traits are gonna not be there. But then like that beginner also segues into like, okay, I'm starting to learn heel side turn, toe side turn. I can kind of link my turns, but I can kind of ride greens, but I haven't stepped up to the next thing of riding blues or steeper blues or even blacks, because you could ride blues and blacks without being an expert rider. And then we end up like being in that intermediate stage for a long time, because that intermediate stage is where I learned to ride switch, where I learned to ride moguls, trees, carving, jumping, half pipe, all these like big chunks of stuff. That's where like the meat of our snowboarding is.
Last name pronounced Weigelt lol. Was wondering if you have thought about anti-fog lenses for your goggles.
Dude, I'm going to get to that in one hot second. I'm going to finish this. Weigelt. Dude, that's sick though. See, you got to help a boy out. See, now we know. Now we have a bond, because and it's funny because most people spell my name wrong, and I don't really care. I blame it on Siri. But more of the story, so that's like your beginner, your intermediate, and then advanced is like you own so much more of snowboarding, where you can ride black, steep, gnarly moguls, switch. You can do it regular, but you can do it switch. You can ride fast through the run, but then you're also like to the next level. If you're a park rider, being able to straight air the biggest jumps doesn't necessarily mean you're an expert. Definitely doesn't mean you're a pro if you can just straight air them, but being able to own that next level of being able to just like take control of everything. And then becoming a professional athlete is not something you self-proclaim. Being a professional athlete is when like somebody, a legitimate company tells you that you're pro, and then that you're like just insane at snowboarding. And I definitely don't consider myself pro at all. Not at all. I used to say I was like a pro coach, which I coach full time, but then I recanted that statement and was like, no, actually I own it. I'm not a pro snowboard coach. I think the elite level of pro coach would be a US team coach, which I've never done. Don't really have any interest at this point in my life to do that, but I'm definitely not pro by any means. And there's some gnarly snowboarders out there that are like not pro yet. So it's crazy for sure. And then we also got a $5 Oh, yeah. Weigelt says, I was wondering if you thought about anti-fog lenses for your goggles. Okay. You kind of set it up nicely. So the goggles that I'm designing have magnets. So I actually had a 2-hour-long meeting with a manufacturer. So the goggles are going to magnetize to your face. Boom! They're going to be locked on. But then some of you guys are like, yeah, magnets stay on most of the time. So what I'm doing is I have my magnets that go to my face, and then you have these hinges on the side that are optional locking mechanisms. So I personally will probably never lock them unless I want it to look cool, but I'll like never lock this side, but then you have the option to lock them. In addition to that, I'm coming up with a clever way to have a better seal between your goggle and your helmet, which I think is going to be really cool. And then I also am trying to figure out a way to make the little buckles in the back not so painful. But as far as anti-fog is literally like the biggest thing. If I did that, I'd millions of dollars, right? I'd be crushing it. If I can find the actual lenses that do not anti-fog, everyone come with like I think it's like F4, M4, there's a certain name that's like an industry standard for anti-fog, and it does okay. So if I can find that next level, I'm definitely gonna have that, but I definitely am gonna explore with the next one. So what I'm doing right now is I'm in a 21 to 28 day process of designing the goggle through a CAD program. They're designing it, I'm telling you what I want. They're gonna give me a CAD design of the goggle, and then they're gonna 3D print that, and I'm gonna start to wear them. So I had a meeting last week about that, and then I'm having another meeting with the lens manufacturer who I'm gonna go through Zeiss, which makes Giro goggles and lenses and on M3 lenses. So I have a meeting with them about getting their lenses shipped to the manufacturer so they can cut the lens and I can test out the lens and the goggle. We're gonna have a 3D printed one, so it's gonna be more like form factor. I'm gonna test that, give them feedback, get another one, get feedback, go through that process, and then try to make some freaking goggles. Let's go, we're making moves. And I specifically am not finding an investor. I think I had a couple opportunities for investors, but I've decided not to do investors. What I wanna do is a Kickstarter campaign. So once I have my 3D render approved of the goggle, I'm gonna start a Kickstarter campaign so that you guys can see what the product looks like, as well as I can start promoting that product. Now, the reason why I want to do Kickstarter is to see if it's a viable option to start a goggle company. Maybe I sell one of them and nobody wants them. Well, then I didn't just drop $100,000 into a company, right? But if we sell 500 goggles, then that tells me that at least I can generate enough money to start a company and to know that it's somewhat of a viable option, at least in the early stages. And then after that, we are going to run with it. But I got to make sure that like people want it. If people don't want it, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So I want to test the market. But the most important thing to me with that whole thing is that I don't receive your money until it's a legitimate company. My biggest thing with you guys, with my following, anybody who is like backing me, is trust. So I don't want your money until it's a viable option. And let's say we sell 100 goggles and you put money up and we don't reach our goal, cool. I don't owe you money, but you get your money back. I don't have transactions. It's not in my hands. So I think that's a really good way that I really want to operate the business, is just see if it is a thing. And if it is, we move on. If it's not, I don't hurt you. It doesn't hurt me. You know, we got to keep that trust going. So rip. We also got a Tyler White says, with the $5 and $49 donation. Let's go, dude. No comments, no words, no one, nothing. So I appreciate that, dude. Let's go. Boreal says, I want a pair. Let's go. And then has that magnetic bridge connects face mask to the goggle. Yeah, and that's something that I got to be aware of not stealing other people's stuff, right? I'm not trying to get like infringements. There's definitely like a limited amount of room in the industry as far as innovative designs, right? And then as far as like Will, yeah, right. So as far as like airflow, the thing is, if you have airflow in your goggles, then you can minimize your fogging. But the downside of that is if you have airflow, for me specifically, I feel the wind on my eyes and my eyes start to tear up. The whole point of having goggles is to not tear up and have protection. So you got to minimize airflow for user comfort. But then that's a contradiction because I don't want to fog. I want all of it. You know, I want to, whatever, the cake and eat it too type, whatever it is. I don't really know. But that's like the biggest thing is you got to not have airflow while having airflow, right? Trey says, hell yeah, great use of 3D printing, right? So so the whole deal, what I'm doing is I'm making my own design. I have to have them manufacture and make a mold and build it and design it. Well, that is a lot of money. So if we do the 3D printing, we can fine tune what that looks like and then we make the mold. But I have to put down like a pretty significant deposit just to see if this is an option. So I think I have to put down $4,500 to get the CAD drawing and everything. That's like my initial investment is $4,500. And then from there, that's just like the buy-in, right? Then there's more after that. But then once I have that investment, we get the CAD going and then I'm able to start the Kickstarter. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Turk says, just finished my 4th day yesterday. Still so bad. No background in skating, surfing. Need a breakthrough. Body hurts so bad from tumbling down the mountain. Dude, watch a couple of those videos on turning. It's such a game changer. I'm not sure if you've watched them or not, but like, dude, such a game changer for sure. For sure. Michael says, I've only been snowboarding 2 times and I'm starting to learn how to carve, but I always end up skating instead while trying to carve. Do you have any suggestions on goggles to get? I think a lot of them, I would find the ones that fit the best and have the technology within your price point. But definitely, as far as carving, you know, you definitely want to learn how to skid first. Skidding essentially means you're pivoting the board and you're making a wider path behind you. And there's a lot more sound, a lot more snow flinging off. And that's your turns, right? Skidded turns. And then after that is carving and being able to manage your pressure evenly across an edge, slicing the snow. And a lot of that does help if you lift up your toes or push your toes down, depending on your heel or toe. But slicing the snow versus skidded, a big thing is like listening to it. Is it quiet in slicing? Or are you just skidding? Excuse me. Rip, rip. Daddy says, Dev, add a MFI type thing for sure. Shiro 4000, step on bindings, yay or nay still. For the right person, I think they're super awesome. I don't fully trust them yet, but definitely sick. If you need any goggle testing done in the Pacific Northwest, I know a guy. Wink, wink, LOL. Jeremy, yeah, I definitely want to do, I got some really cool options. I definitely want to do some goggles. I know the Kickstarter campaign, we got $2 from Andrew Strong says, what is the price point? It's going to be between $2 and $250. And I think for the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign, what I want to do is we hit certain goals. And I think if we hit our certain goal, I'm going to include like a little lens cover and an extra lens. So in the Kickstarter campaign for that $250, you'll get 3 lenses, 1 low light, 1 mid, and 1 dark for that. And where most companies are at that $250 to $300 and you get 2 lenses. So I want to get you guys hyped, get you guys bought in and feel like you're getting a lot of value. So then I'm going to do that. The reason why I'm at that price point, I believe that I have the same quality as those other companies. So I'm getting, you know, it's going to cost me more per unit to do that, but I'm sourcing out respected and credible lens manufacturer who have a great track record, who has the certifications of protection and clinical trials for protecting your eyeballs. So I'm going to piggyback on their credibility and know that you are protected. I've literally taken branches to the eyeball and my goggles have protected my eyeballs, right? That's a real world situation. A ski pole getting punched in the eye. We got to protect our eyeballs. You only get a 1 set, right? 1 set forever. Theoretically, 1 set. So we need to protect them. So I'm piggybacking on that. But my quality is going to be right there with those cats. Yeah, so rip, rip. Scott Knight, what up, dog? Dude, I've been seeing you out there, dude. It says, thanks for all the hard work, brother. Dude, Scott Knight, thank you so much for the $5 donation, dude. Let's go. Let's see. Trey says, I rode step-ins 23 days before switching back. Oh, you were committed, dude. That's freaking sick. Marshall Robbins, any advice for riding down steep diamond runs on poor to mediocre snow conditions? I often blow out my heel side while side slipping when it's crunchy. Yes, actually, I do. I have a video on it, and I'm not sure. Hey, Kaz, I'm going to get to you in a second, dude. Kaz, what's up, dog? I haven't seen you in a minute. So if we go over here, let's see. We'll call it steep. Hey, come on now, right? Steep. Struggling with steep terrain. This one's really sick. There's another one I made that not that long ago. This one I talk about when you're doing your, like that crappy conditions and stuff, being able to flex your belly button down and then be able to lift up your toes. Essentially, you're trying to create a high edge angle, which is without simply leaning so far over that your belly button is so far over the edge that you slip out and fall. The whole goal is to get low and then barely sink back so that you're not falling over. Also, like I'm looking here. I got another one for us. That's a live stream. That's an advanced carving. Oh, go fast. How to snowboard on bumpy and off-piste terrain. Oh, what's up, dude? My name is Tommy Bennett, and we're out here shredding the gnar in the eyes. It is crazy. It's not what he says. Let's see. So what I'm looking at here, so it's like being able to handle all of this terrain and steeps. Like, look how low I am. I'm relatively low. I'm not leaning so far over that I'm losing that heel side edge. I'm staying low, close to my ground, close to my board, like that, right there. I want to go back to that. Let's see, 5 seconds. I'm going to slow that down. I want to get this point across to you, my dudes. Okay, I know it's gonna be a second. Look at this little beautiful turns. Let's go. Sean Roman, what up, dog? Okay, so look at this body position here. My belly button is barely outside the heel side edge. If I was standing up, my belly button would be so much further behind. I'm able to get an edge angle through a balanced, compact, and not super inclinated position. And then you can't really see anything after that. So hopefully that helps, my dude. Kaz says, if you need any goggles down under, dude, maybe I want to go down there eventually when everything gets like, lifted. Everything goes back to normal. We also got EXTIANX says, what's the best lens for day and night riding? Clear lenses would be sick for nighttime. And then I personally have like blue eyes, so my eyes are super sensitive to light. So when it's like a gnarly, like sunny day, I need to wear dark lenses so that I don't like hurt my eyeballs. So I end up riding kind of relatively dark lenses like every single day. Dan says, why do you switch back after riding 23 days on the freaking, things? Oh, let's go over here real quick. Oh, we got 2 new videos. Joined videos. All right. What was that? Straight airs. Eric Zerwin. What up, dog? If you guys can, like 10 seconds in, just trim these videos. That'd be dope. Oh, we're blowing it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this was the donation from the beginning. Our boy dropped a donation. So let me go here. We're going to slow that down. We're going to try to pop this to 1080p. All right, so one thing I already know out of the get-go. Notice where the belly button is, and I don't think I can like, can I? Let's see if I can do this real quick. I want to zoom in. Oh, that's not helping. Maybe I do this full screen. All right, so one thing I'm already noticing is that your board is already like almost a foot in front of your center of mass. So your center of mass is just easily identified as your belly button. So your belly button's over here, and your feet are already away from your belly button. Now let's watch what's gonna happen. You push off and you're already inclinated. You're already in this like leaning back position and you're just fighting to save it, right? So from the get-go, you're already backseat. There was no chance that you're saving this because you took off right here. Look at that body position. That's where,
Thanks for the tip.
Marshall, let's go. Dude, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Let's go. I appreciate that, my dude. Okay, so we're here. I'm going to try to go to here. Let's see, live streams. Okay, so let's see if we can find. I have some straight air videos that y'all can see. I did one today. I don't know, we could just go with, I just want there's one that's sick. It's like a shifty. I'll send a shifty. Okay, I'm looking for it. Where are you? Ollie, frontside shifty. Maybe this is the one. Boom, look at this guy. Okay, this is not the right angle, but we can still get the same point across, okay? So with this angle, speed. Now, notice where I am. It's hard, the angle specifically is hard, but I'll still explain it. With this angle, my belly button is directly stacked over my board. Notice that I'm on flat base. Now, as I have my knees flexed, essentially I'm extending my knees as hard as I can. And by extending my knees, I'm pushing into the ground directly down. So my belly button is pushing directly center of the board, which projects my body vertically straight up. So if I'm on this vertical path and I flex down and I jump up, I'm fine. But if I start to go here, here, and then now look, I'm already like in this weird position. So you're gonna see here that I push, I'm still balanced, I'm still stacked. I rotate my hips, I'm still stacked. Now guess what? I land flat base again, just slightly on my toe side edge, but barely by like an inch. And then I land and then I ride away simply because I took off even between my nose and tail. More importantly, heel to toe. Hopefully that helps. My dude. Let's go. Dude, we vibing tonight, my dudes. There's so many guys here. Snowflex, what up, dog? How we doing? What up? You get those 5s yet, dude? Kyle, what up, dude? Okay, Andrew says, hey, Tolmay, when you stay low, would you agree it's mostly through the ankles and knees and not overflexing the hips, thus being able to slide relatively vertical? Yes, Andrew, RMT, let's go, dude. Good luck with that. That's a vibe. Yeah, so essentially in that video that we were just talking about a little bit ago with flexing down is being able to flex your ankles, your knees, and then allowing your hips to go down, but not just flexing of the hips / spine and flexing over. I'm sinking down, flexing my ankles and knees, and naturally as you get lower, you're still gonna have to flex your hips, but the predominant flexion is not the hip, which I talk about in this week's video on Friday. It's gonna be go. So if you guys wanna become a member and see it sooner, it's gonna be down below and next to the subscribe button. And tell your friends that they wanna subscribe. Let's see. Kyle says, I did a cork 7. How do I take it to dub 10? Foam pits. I want to make a video on that. You gotta be able to get like underflip and misty flip independently because you want to be able to cork, and then as you're switch, you got to be able to keep the momentum going, but flip the other way. So I definitely want to make a video out there. Scott Knight says, I'll be at Woodward Thursday through Sunday. Dude, I'll be there every day. So we also got a $5 chat from our boy coming from 10 months, Evan. The boy's name, Sander, but sounded better. Coming from 10 months off ACL surgery, I find myself a little nervous going toe side out of fear from falling on my knees. Any tips for the mental hurdle? Start small and just don't go fast and go slow and watch that video. I talk about knee steering. It's going to apply to you specifically for this video. Essentially, you want a knee steer where you're not tilting, which I've talked about many times in this today already. You're not leaning so far over that you can't make that toe side edge because your edge is going to turn. The goal is to get your body to be low and then make a nice smooth toe side turn so that you're able to stay in control and not feel like you're falling over, but smear the peanut butter is a reference that I use. So you're skidding or pivoting your board. So you're smearing the peanut butter nice and controlled through a smooth fashion and not just leaning over. Because if you're leaning over, you're just jackknifing, right? So start small, but use that knee steering tactic. It's literally going to help you so much because your body's going to be stacked and you don't feel like you're falling over. If you're going really, really slow, yeah, it might feel like you're falling over, but like,
Thanks for all the awesome content. So flipping helpful. Let's go.
Dude, thank you so much for the $5 donation. The Wilders, they do vlogs, by the way. Check them out. Their whole family is starting to rip it up. Says, thanks for the awesome content. Let's flip and go. Let's go. Flipping helpful. Let's go. You know, you get the point. Thank you so much for the $5.40. $5.40. Let's go. It's good chatting with you on the gram the other day. Julian says, with a $15 donation, bro, last week you told me to demo a wider board cause size 11. I got the shortest wide board by Never Summer. Damn, man, my homie noticed 100% change in my riding and I was confident. Got a capital DOA. Yo, this guy's getting banned. Can we ban this guy? Ban. I'm gonna ban this guy. Boom. Let's go. Get out of here. Get out of here with that shenanigans. But with the $15 donations, dude, let's go. That's so freaking sick. And it's just a big deal to be able to have a wider platform, being able to make those turns. That's cool, dude. And now you don't have to deal with that, like catching your toes, catching your heels. It makes it such a bigger deal. Let's go. Logan says, any tips to stay balanced mid-air? Really, the mid-air comes from your takeoff, like 100%. It comes from the takeoff. So the more you're in a stable position in the air, or in the takeoff, then you can translate that into the air. But once you're in the air, one big thing that you can do is retract your knees. And as you pull your knees up, you're able to stay in a more compact and stable position, but bring your knees up. And I'm not talking about kicking your heels to your butt. I'm talking about retracting your knees upwards so that you're in a compact, nice, smooth position. Let's go. Oh, my eyes hurt. Daily Mountain Bike, how has Copper been, Tommy? Dude, Copper is flipping sick. Copper is awesome. Retracted. I don't know what that means. Oh, funny. Kaz, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Shredder Drew, ignore the negativity.
Ignore the negativity, stoke the positivity. And just cuz homie.
Let's go, dude. Shredwood Drew. Heck yeah, dude. We vibing, you know. It's funny because, you know, regardless, like, where you are, whether you're, like, have a following or not, you have an opinion or not, no matter what in this whole world, people are just going to disagree and hate on you regardless. And it's just one of those things where it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Corny with the spam, 100%. See, Evan says, you ever get out to Beaver Creek? That's where I first learned. I actually grew up riding Beaver Creek. I love Beaver Creek. It's pretty fun. I was there like a couple months ago, but it's definitely a better question. And then Jake Wagner, what up, dude? How we doing? TL is a S-turn, aka switch, heel toe carve, a beginner trick or intermediate? So S-turn is when you take a heel side turn that looks like this and a toe side turn that looks like this independently, and then you bring them together, then you create an S, right? So that's your S-turn, just to define it. And then when you're carving a beginner trick or intermediate, it is going to be an intermediate when you're doing a carve is intermediate, switch is intermediate, and then you kind of go to the upper intermediate to challenging side when you're combining switch and carving. But to actually have expert, you got to own that level for sure. What is redacted? Anybody want to help me out here? With the $5 donation, dude. What up, dog? Ramy, not sure what your question was. Also, who wants to come with to hike Alta? I'm making a foldable snowboard. Let's go. That actually mad funny. Struggling. Oh yeah, probably. Why is snowboarding so addicting? Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, it just means that what redacted versus retracted. That's a good question. Borealis says, please like that thumbs up button. Let's go. It helps, Tommy. I appreciate that so much. A deeper press of matter of technique or board specs or both. How deep should one be able to go with a board rated at 5 to 10 flex? I think that there's so much that you can do within that flex. It's just not going too far forward or too far backwards with that. It's yeah. It's just being able to like stay within your bindings a little bit more instead of going too far forward or too far back. You want to like stay within your feet. That definitely allows you to have that flexibility of it allows you to have stability on a softer board. But you can go deep for sure. Daily Mountain Bike says, it's too bad that people hate on you and say that Jonathan is better because I think your content is equally good and you both make sick stuff. At the end of the day, people are going to hate, and then I bring stuff to the table and so does Jonathan bring stuff to the table, you know. I just do something different, but that's the whole point is I want to create content that's going to help people. And that's just where I'm coming from. And like whatever between him and I, he does his thing, I do my whole thing, and I'm not like that worried about it because at the end of the day, my goal is to make you guys as awesome as possible.
We have got to get you up to Big Mountain in Whitefish, Montana.
And then at the end of the day, I'm going to win if I can help as many people as possible. But my motivation is just to like get people stoked on snowboarding. And if you're stoked on his stuff, you're stoked on Board Archive stuff, Ryan Napton's, Angry Snowboarder, then I don't care. Like I really don't care. I just want to help. I just want to get people stoked on snowboarding. And I have just a different perspective of fundamental movements, being able to do things certain ways, you know? And it's just, it is what it is. But you know, it is what it is, right? And my vibe is just helping people. Like, that's what I'm stoked on. That's what I'm stoked on. That's why I'm here, vibing with you guys, talking nerdy. Daniel says, I'm a skier, but you're cool. LOL. What up, dog? Hey man, great channel. How much more or less probable am I going to catch an edge on a flat rail than catching on carving snow? I'm trying to anticipate the sensation. If your mechanics are awesome, then you're gonna have like a better, if your mechanics are good, you're not gonna like really catch either way, but it's when you make a mechanical like foul, that's when it kind of bites you. So if I was on a rail and I lean forward, then I increase my chances of catching that edge. If I'm carving and I rotate too much and I'm like kind of in the middle of kind of carve and then I go skid and then I lean forward and I catch that edge, it's kind of the same thing. I do feel like you probably maybe catch edge a little bit more on a rail than a carve if you're carving properly. It's kind of a toss-up. Tommy, you get me stoked, LOL. I get you hyped. Let's go. John Roman says, edited for Republicans, retracted withdrawal, or taken back. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Can you answer my question, please? Yo, what's your question, dog? Should most of my weight be on my front foot? Think about 60% of your weight is on your front foot, which means if you're driving a car, your weight, your engine traditionally is over the front tire, allowing you to make your turns on a car. Kind of the same thing. You have 60% of your weight on your lead foot, allowing you to make those turns, which is kind of sick because you're able to get early edge engagement for sure. Let's see if that makes sense, Madhu. Daniel says, what do you do before going in the park? I always feel too stiff in the park. I like to take a warm-up run, and then I like to like squat down, stand up. I like to like evaluate how my body's feeling. So I do a lot of squats, a lot of ollies, a lot of jumps, and just to like evaluate. But then when I get in the park, I also just take my time. I'm not trying to like send it super hard off the rip. I like to progressively warm my body up, so I might take a little bit of time. But yeah. Also, yeah, dude, the Wilder with a $5 donation. Sorry about that 3 minutes ago. We have to get you to Big Mountain in Whitefish, Montana. I would love to go. One of these days, that would be absolutely awesome. Let's see. What else we got in here? Let's see, I'm just rolling through some of these chats. Fourth, what up, dog? How we doing? Derek says, bro, solution for the internet problem. Check out Starlink. Sign up on the waiting list. $500 buy-in for the dish, and then $100. And you have to have a roof. I'm in like a building complex where like I'm not on the top story. So I think you have to have a roof. So I need to see if I can get on the roof. But yeah, I was actually looking at that. I got an email from them not that long ago saying that I'm eligible in the area, which could be really sick, dude. I appreciate that. I definitely want to. How do I ride bumps and moguls, says Charlie. Dude, I got a sick video. We go to how to snowboard over here. Go back, moguls. I do have a video on how to ride moguls. Let's see, maybe what did I label it? Bumps. How to ride moguls. I have a video on this, I swear. Oh, hate moguls? Watch this. How to snowboard down a mogul run. This run. Yeah, I definitely have a video like that. But Derek, thank you so much for the $5 and the solution, dude. Let's go. But that's a good video if you're looking to ride moguls. There's so much good information in that video. You should definitely check that out because I get like real nerdy with like body positions, where you're looking, where you're going. Freaking sick. I can teach you, says, any tips for hitting the slopes for the first time? Honestly, hitting slopes for the first time is make sure you have like comfortable boots, snowboard boots, but also make sure that you have comfortable boots. You have, you're warm. That's a big deal. So check the weather. Make sure you have enough appropriate weather, like layers on. That's pretty big. And then if you can afford it, take a lesson, because the lesson is going to expedite your process so much, like literally expedite it, because snowboarding is very counterintuitive, really challenging. It's hard. So an instructor is going to like just give you all the tips and tricks and the cheat codes to like snowboarding in the beginning. So I would definitely like check that out for sure. We also just got another $10 donation. Says, I was able to hit a backside 180 thanks to your tips last week, Tommy. I have another question about backside 180s. When I land on my toe side edge, I stop short and feel under-rotated. Any tips? Keep your knees up until your board rotates to the fall line and then push your feet down. But that definitely like, that definitely will help. Braden says, why do you and Jonathan not ride anymore? You know, we just like doing our own thing. And I think that's like the sickest part is like, I want to create my content. He's doing his thing. It's like separate, like completely separate things. But we're just doing our own thing. You know what I mean? Amar says, thanks. Y'all do it. I got you. Escape banana for switch. Going around. Boom. Let's see. It's all in the hips, Jensen, right? Chris Flash, do you try the Academy propaganda as well as the proper camber? I haven't tried the other one. I don't know the difference. I tried the proper camber, and it was definitely, I think you DM me on Instagram about that. I didn't get back to you. I apologize. But I rode the proper camber, and it was super fun, super jibby. And then I rode the Graduate, which was a directional board, a little bit stiffer. And it was actually really fun. If you set it, I set it up like symmetrical as best as I could, and it was like really fun. It was really fun. Ryland says, you're going to be at Copper tomorrow. Yes, I'm at Copper like almost every single day. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be around. I ride mostly park. I'll be coaching. I'll be working, so I can't really take any rides or anything, but I'll definitely be around. And then we got another question from Michael. It says, when should I upgrade gear? 3, 5, 10 years? I personally would say probably around the like 75 to 100 day mark. I personally do my stuff every a lot of I would say that what's it called? I like update that stuff like every 3 to 5. I do it every year, like every 100 to 150 days. But I ride every single day. So that's like board, boots, bindings. I replace my bindings every year. I replace my boots probably every season and a half. I rode a long time on my boots, so maybe almost every year. And then like jackets and stuff, I wear those a lot more than I probably should. Linda says, hey Tommy, when I land backside 180s, I tend to rotate around to 360. Any tips to stop that? I'm also working on my backside 360 and have trouble with them. I would say, Linda, what's probably happening is two things are happening on your backside 180 is that as you spin, you're landing probably on a heel side edge and then your shoulders are sweeping through and then you're not getting enough grip on the ground to prevent that shoulders from continuing the rotation. So what you want to do is you want to, as you do the backside 180, then you can like 90 degrees.
Tommy, have you ever been to X Games or big competitions like that?
I'll get to that in 1 minute, my dude. It's a good question. But when you're doing the backside 180 at about 90 degrees, then you can start to look back uphill, and that's going to help counter your shoulders, and then you want to land on your toe side edge. But then when it comes to backside 360, you want your eyes to rotate like the full 360 degrees and make it back down the fall line. Yeah, so I think the backside 180 thing will help, and backside 360 definitely sending it a little bit more. Donovan says, you and Jonathan should stream different nights. I stream every single Tuesday for the last 12 months. So that's on him, not on me. I stream this. This is my night to stream. I got to bounce. Peace out, Tyler White. Thank you so much for the donation, dude. You the man. But yeah, this is usually my night. So he kind of jumps around and does that sometimes. Let's see. Cameron says, my calves start burning really bad every time I ride a catwalk or flat section. Any tips? It sounds weird, but if you can learn how to ride switch, I do this all the time. I'll ride, my legs will start to burn. I do a 180 so that I can ride switch and give my legs a rest and then go back and forth. That's definitely one thing. Make sure your weight is distributed evenly between both of your feet. Could definitely help as well. And then speed actually helps a lot too. The faster you go, then you have to use less fine motor skill. You can use gross motor skill, which is going to help from that fatigue. Chris Lane says, that was this Chris that asked on IG, what up, dog? How do you like the proper candor versus the Burton process? Also, was it a pure pop or flying V? So I had the traditional camber process. Right now I'm riding the custom, but I had the Burton process for years. And what I thought was like it was pretty fun. And Rhineland, I'll get to that in a second. But with the proper, so the Burton process was pretty jibby. And I would say that the proper camber was more playful than the Burton process. And then my board I ride now, which is the custom, is way more stiff. But similar, I would say the proper camber is a little bit more flexible from my experience. And it was pretty fun. But I did have the traditional, I think it was pure pop, what it was. And then Ryland says, yo, Tommy, any tips for hitting rails without bumming your backside? Staying balanced and parallel to the slope of the rail. So if there's a 30-degree rail, then your board, hips, and shoulders need to match at 30 degrees so you're not on an edge. Now imagine that you're at 30-degree rail and you're even on the rail. Well, guess what? I'm sliding metal on metal or metal on box, and then I increase my chances of slipping out and getting bodied. So definitely like watch that. So you got to be parallel to the terrain. We just got another donation saying, Rob says, officially stumped, board side 270 out. Thanks to your tips last week. Any tips on locking and backside 180 urban on down rails, not asleep for this live session? Let's go. It's really challenging, but find like a box to start on or a wide tube, but you're going to have like a 15 degree like trajectory into it. And then what you got to do is you got to scissor your legs so that your lead foot pulls back and then your other foot pushes forward so that you get your board to actually spin really fast. So instead of your whole body doing the 180, your legs are just doing a really quick scissor, and then you can land in a countered position, which is gonna help lock it in, because if you land more in a stacked position, your momentum is gonna continue the rotation. So you actually wanna go scissor, and then if you scissor on, then you're able to like lock it in, and then you'll have more options of that. And then you can slowly look in the direction you're going if you're just gonna do back one out or back one in, switch 50-50 out. But that scissoring movement is like a big deal. Arc videos, what up, dog? He says, I made the live stream. What up, dog? Let's see. Josh says, I can board side a rail that are very low to the ground that I can pretty much ride onto. How do I hit rails that are much higher than the lip? How do I do that and stay comfy? So what you got to do is like, one way that you can do it is like jump and then land 50-50 and then shift your board later. So you start building your confidence to do the urban on and then turn. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to go straight into board side because you're more comfortable with that, what you got to do is, here's like the rail and the jump is like on the side. So you're actually trying to hit like the first third of the rail or first half of the rail and you slide it. You're not trying to hit it up here and go directly on it because you can't ride on it. So you're like jumping and then hitting the rail. With that said, you want to make sure belly button is getting on top of the rail. So even if you're just riding under your lead foot, well then you got to shift over to get on that board. And then, so you're like here. And then if you're in the center, make sure belly button's there. And if you're going blunt, back blunt where your like lead foot is going all the way over, then you definitely want to make sure that you're getting your belly button to be stacked on that rail 100%. Let me like search the database real quick and see if I have like a board side. I know I have like, let's see, board siding up board slide. Board. Oh, that's not it. I'm trying to find that video back side. Trying to find a backside board side first real quick, but I'm not finding any backside one here. Oh, board slides, where are you? I'm trying to find it. So I have this like library of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to find it real quick. I think I had one at... I have like 500 and some odd videos. Oh, this one might be it. Nah. Well, here kind of like gets the point across real quick. That's not it. So real quick, gets the point across is look where my belly button is stacked over the binding where you can see the pink binding. Everything's stacked. That's like kind of the point I'm trying to get at. Boom. I'm a beginner rider wondering how to build speed. The more, Nico, the when you want to build speed, you got to point your nose down the fall line. You point your nose down the fall line, you're definitely going to go faster. Owen, I want to make a video on how to not catch an edge, like 100%. I think it would be really sick for sure. Aaron Snow, what up, dog? Or Aaron Snowboards, what up, dog? How to not catch an edge. You got to understand when you're catching an edge simply means that you're like leaning forward when you're traveling downhill. So if you're going straight and you're trying to like go straight, your nose pointing down the fall line, and then you turn sideways, well, then you immediately have to start raising that edge that's downhill. So if I'm going on my heel side edge, I got to lift up my toes to prevent that. As soon as I let those toes down or I lean forward, that's when I catch an edge. Obviously, the opposite applies if I'm going uphill. You definitely want to do that. But yeah, the Midwest Shredder says, thanks for all that. Thanks for helping others, man. Yeah, man, that's definitely the goal, is just like vibe and help out people and do that.
For da boy. Wait, do I know you, lol?
For the boy, wait, do I know you? Yeah, dude. You keep avoiding my text messages. Like the opposite. I've been playing some games and we're gonna vibe soon. Gabe Miller says, I'm going to Boyne Mountain this weekend. Any tips for medium jumps? Stay stacked. It's definitely a big deal. Meaning shoulders, hips, and knees are like stacked on the board, and you're not leaning too far nose heavy. You're not leaning tail. You're not leaning heel or toe. You're laying like flat. Definitely like a big deal. Oh yes, fourth hooligan. Yo, X Games. Sorry, that was a great question, Rob. No, who was it? Where's that? The question was, Benjamin says, Tommy, have you ever competed in X Games or big competitions? I've never competed at X Games. No, not at all. I competed at like a US Open, didn't do that well. I competed at Grand Prix. My biggest trouble as like when I was an athlete is I put so much pressure on myself to perform that I couldn't handle it. Like couldn't handle it at all. And so I definitely struggled. I competed a lot, and I just couldn't really handle the pressure. Also, we got Matthew says, struggling with popping off heels for backside boards on urban features. How do I keep a solid platform? Lift up your toes. It's actually a surprisingly little like kind of secret. If you lift up your toes, you're going to create more of a carve, and as you carve, you're going to have a stronger base to push off of. Also, you're not trying to push your feet out from underneath you, you want to push down. But when you push down and I turn my board 15 degrees, then I push down, then that trajectory gets me on the rail. But I'm not trying to go straight and then push my feet out and try to go over. You can go 15 degrees and then push down on the jump, which obviously equal and opposite reaction will get you on the rail. Michael, what up, dude? Says, yo, what up, Tommy? What up, dog? How we doing? Huh. Aaron Snow says, drop a like for the boy. It's free and easy. Bray says, I want to learn how to wildcat. Where do I start? If you could, you want to learn, if you could theoretically learn on a trampoline or build a jump into like a trampoline or a foam pit, or build a jump into like a very safe environment, which would be like POW. But if you could do trampoline, then you can start to understand the mechanics of it and overcome the fear and build the awareness of flipping before you take it to a snowboard. Because when you're on a snowboard, there's just so much going on. You got to be able to turn, you got to be able to navigate, you got to be able to pop, you got to be able to flip, you got to be able to land. But if you can just minimize that and learn as much as you can before doing that, then that's definitely gonna help. Derek says, yo, I appreciate you throwing some extra stickers in my order. You're the man. Dude, let's go. What's a wildcat? A wildcat is a backflip, but you're backflipping over your back shoulder in this axis versus backwards over my heel. So it's over your tail. They're actually really sick looking when done right. Luke says, having a hard time to switch from heel to toe edge, not enough weight on my front foot. You could definitely be struggling with not having enough weight on your front foot, but the other thing is you're not unweighting the board. Essentially, you want to unweight the snowboard to create the least amount of resistance so that you can go from edge to edge. So what I suggest you doing is on your turn is that in the middle of your turn, you start to get like small so that you're like in a flexed position. So I'm like tall in the start of my turn. I get small in the middle of my turn, and then I get tall again. And as I extend away from the turn, I start to extend upwards. I unweight the snowboard, making it easy going from one edge to the other. So think about getting a little bit more dynamic, but controlled. I'm not saying be spastic and do one of these. I'm talking about progressively sink, progressively extend. As you extend, you unweight the snowboard. Maybe that could help a lot. It helps a lot more people. Charlie's Fine says, why is there no grab zone? That's a great question. I think it's like a cultural expectation. So there's certain areas where it's normal to grab and accepted to grab, and then some things culturally have become uncool. And a lot of that comes from, well, it's just it's too easy and it's not considered cool. Well, you want to make it more proper by doing this grab or this grab or this grab versus just whatever happens. People culturally want to have, like, see other people have ownership of their snowboarding, ownership of that stuff, so that there is some kind of like standard. So it's just about owning the trick a lot more. So then there's not these like weird, just kind of whatever happens. Let's own it. Let's own it. And Snowboard says, sorry, I'm a little late. Is there any new merch out? No. Rip. Borealis says, good question. Good question. No grab zones, yeah. Let's see. Flash says, as a beginner intermediate carving looking to get into park, would you recommend the proper camber or something softer? I think the proper camber is actually a really sick intermediate board. Where the proper camber I kind of struggled with is like just hitting bigger jumps. But if you're not hitting bigger jumps, then you're going to have the playfulness of rails, medium jumps, nose presses, tail presses. But I would say that I rely on my snowboard too much at times when it comes to like landing jumps. So I land sometimes way too backseat, and I need a stiffer board to overcompensate. So then I'm like kind of blowing it, you know what I mean? I need to be better. Got to get better. Got to figure this out. So I don't land like as bolts as I should, but I definitely think that proper camber, I rode it all summer. I got like the second run I took it on, I think I was doing like front sevs and back sevs, like right out of the get-go. So it's a sick board for sure. Yo, Sean Roman says, did you see Hans wall ride? That thing was freaking insane. A little like back 270 or back 3 into the wall to like save it. What a god. How do I prevent my snowboard from turning when I wind up a frontside or backside 180? Yes, this is actually a good question. Let's see if I can find you an example real quick. Give me a second. I think I have some examples for sure. Trying to find you a good example. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this a good example here. What do we got going here? And thank you so much for the $5 donation. Here we go. Okay, so one big thing you're gonna notice. Maybe I'm gonna trivia. What are you gonna notice about what I'm doing with my board to not skid or like turn? We're gonna watch it one more time in slow-mo because that's how it's always formatted. So one thing that you're going to notice that I do, and I'm going to stop it right about here. I am in a definitive toe side. It's like a subtle but definitive toe side carve. When I'm on a toe side carve, essentially I'm creating more resistance or grip from my snowboard. And my snowboard grips the ground, and I'm able to essentially rotate my upper body in whatever direction I want to because my board is gripping the snow. Have you ever sat at like one of those bar stools where like it's like free flowing and you're on a bar stool and you do one of these and you're trying your darn hardest to like actually spin around, but nothing's happening. But if you were to like be in this chair right now, there's a lot of resistance where I could just like, there's resistance on the ground that stems all the way up, and I'm able to like turn a lot more. I can operate more independently because I'm able to grip from the ground and go up. But when you're on one of those bar stools, you have no control because there's no grip. Essentially, you're just losing all your grip. So you got to be able to go off of a definitive carve. And I'm not saying 1,000-degree angle. I'm saying, exaggeration, I'm saying like a 10, 15-degree angle that's going to be able to grip the snow. So practice some backside 180s, backside 360s out and about. Today's Instagram video is this one. You're going to see a very definitive carve on this. So I carve, and you'll see it right now. I go toe side, lock that edge in. You can see my line is so locked in the snow that I was able to grip and rip. One more time. Watch that carve on the second video. I edge tilt, I exaggerate, boom, I lock that edge in. Hope that helps, my dude. Arc Video says, thanks for the tips on overcoming fear and how to hit jumps. So stoked I landed my first jump of the season. Let's go, dude. Kudia, what's up, dude? This was great advice. Thank you. What's up? I saw your chat earlier. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're awesome. For somebody who can afford to go to the hill often, any tips on practicing at home, places, local places? Trampoline, if you can afford trampoline centers. The other thing is, jib a couch cushion. Don't get in trouble. You know, buy one at the Thriftway or thrift store for like $1. Couch cushion, an old tire, a milk crate. They're a little slick. Be careful. But you can work on frontside lip, back lip, board size, nose press, tail press, 180s on, 180s out, 360s, 360 flat ground. And then if you can, go to a trampoline facility, a trampoline place where you can do drop-ins and be able to do that. Any Indians here? Let's go. That's sick, dude. I've always wanted to shred there. That'd be dope. Okay, Jackson says, backcountry skiing is something way more accessible to skiers because they're able to go relatively uphill and flat. Any advice for snowboarders aside from investing in a split board? I think really, if you don't want to invest in a split board is a game changer if you can financially invest in it. If you can't, post hole, just go hike it or get snowshoes. Like, you can do all that stuff. You just exert more energy doing that. Split boarding is efficient because you're floating on it. But you can rent gear if you want to. Like, there's a rent gear, but make sure you're taking proper precautions as far as like avalanche awareness, avalanche safety, take a safety class, beacons, all that, competent partner, that stuff. Is a big deal, but there are definitely some options. Jansen says, hit them with that krill. People love it. LOL. Yeah, right. How old were you when you were the first time snowboarding? Says Michael. I was 8 years old. Rusty Nail Riders trenching. What up, dog? Fraser says, can negative 40 degree, even if you are warm, cause your legs to cramp way faster than normal? I would say yes, that you're exerting, you have all this like external things that are happening to your muscles. Your muscles are like not keeping warm or not getting enough blood flow to them. That negative cold weather, yeah, can definitely impact that for sure. And how do you pronounce your name? Ayadal? Dude, that's so helpful. I can't wait to try it tomorrow. Let's go. Let's see. Is there any boards that can be useful in place of snowboarding during the summer? Maybe a one-wheel freeboard summer board? I feel like there's a lot of things claiming to replicate the feel. I haven't tried a lot of them, to be honest. I definitely want to. Ryder says, so I just started snowboarding and I need help. My dad skis, so I need some tips. I would say, like, check out the YouTube channel. Obviously, that's why you're here. But when you're at this YouTube channel, I have so many tips here. So if you're looking for something specific, which would be turning, it's not how you spell turning at all. You just type in turn right here in the search box, and it searches only my channel. And you can do turn, and then you can look up this how to turn. Turning is like the biggest thing. I'm coming out with another video on Friday, which is going to be sick. So turn for sure. But yeah, that's a big one. I think, like, when you're a beginner, like, have fun snowboarding. Enjoy the weather. Make sure you're dressed warm. Make sure you're vibing. Make sure you, like, got good people around. If you're riding by yourself, like, enjoy being outside. Like, embrace like embrace it. I was riding the other day and it was like freaking miserable out, and I was having one of the best days because I feel like when it's miserable and people want to go home, that makes me want to snowboard and makes me feel like hardcore. And then it just comes with that attitude of like, people are not stoked and I'm trying to make the best of the situation, and then I like have the sickest day ever. So I don't know, the mindset. Is it Nadine? Let's go. Alyssa, should I focus on switch as I'm learning the basics or after I've mastered my dominant direction? Honestly, like if I had the choice, I would do both kind of both at the same time. Toe side turn, spend like half day or an hour or 10 minutes, whatever it is, but like go like regular, kind of do that, and then figure it out switch, because the sooner you start switch, the better your overall mechanics are, the more option you're gonna have, because you could spend all this time, here's kind of the downside, you could spend all this time going your dominant direction, and then do you really want to spend time sucking again and being bad at snowboarding, quote unquote, and then trying to figure this all over again? Well, you may resort to just being more awesome at one direction and neglect this whole other thing because it's challenging. But if you can just get it done at the same time, that would be really sick. And I wish I did that in my own snowboarding. There's this one young ripper. She's insane. She has 10K on Instagram. She's like 8 years old, has like sevens in multiple directions, switch and regular, is an incredible switch rider, will just do a whole day switch and a whole day regular. But she's so young, but she's learned both. So now she doesn't have to go back and relearn how to do something. So I would do both. Like, it's such an advantage.
Everyone should help Tommy out and share a video or two on FB or wherever. Get the boy to 50K subs by end of March would be dope.
Yo, let's go. That would be super sick. And that stuff does help, like sharing the love. And I don't go into like forums or Facebook and self-promote because I think it looks bad and then you get hated on. But I definitely am trying to like grow this YouTube thing. Got a couple things in, we talked about a gog company coming out with gloves and a jacket company, creating some clothing and some stuff that I think you're gonna really like, really high quality stuff. But I appreciate that, Aaron, with the $5 donation. Share with a friend. Like, we're just trying to help as many people become awesome at snowboarding. We're hit 40K, and I've been doing this for barely over a year, which I'm very, very thankful for. And you guys are amazing. So share the love. What's your favorite place to snowboard for intermediate rider in Colorado? I'm a huge fan of Copper. Has a lot of different terrain, a really fun park, really good riding, really good vibe, really good energy. But I also like Breckenridge is a good option too. A little bit more busy, but sick. We helped. I've introduced everyone I know who rides to Tommy and Napton Kings. Let's go, dude. That's so sick. I'm supposed to link up with Ryan soon, which I think is going to be really sick. Brandon says, why don't you start Twitch streams? Because Twitch streams, I feel, is not super integrated into the snowboard community, or vice versa. I mean, YouTube is still relatively new to snowboarding. It definitely is starting to grow and create a following and whatnot as a mass. But the biggest person in our niche has like 500K, where in gaming and Twitch is like 10 million or more, right? So it's definitely like a different spectrum on there. But with that said, it's a whole nother platform that I have to like start from zero. Well, I'd rather like feed YouTube and then get people that are already on YouTube kind of answering the question. So it's definitely a thing I thought about, but I just don't think the audience is there. And then me sucking people from a different platform to there, you have a terrible conversion rate. So I just don't think it really makes sense. It's just like, I don't think that there's the opportunity as much as people would think. In with a $15 donation, Stephen G. Dude, thank you so much for the Patreon. I gave you a little shout out at the beginning of the live stream because I saw your $20 pledge at the beginning and I was like, what, dude, that's freaking sick. And your, yeah, dude, I appreciate that with the $20 Patreon, dude. Let's go, dude, you're amazing. You helping out, man. You're helping out a lot. I appreciate that. Ben says, who's your favorite person on YouTube to snowboard with? I was very impressed with Ryan Napton. That dude was like, is gnarly, freaking amazing. I was super hyped. Sorry, Mike. I thought Karen was gonna read that, so I was waiting for it, but then it came as a super chat versus the other thing. So he says, having a hard time learning to nose press, like a comically hard time.
Any tips for riding snake runs?
Ooh, yes, with a $40 donation. Holy cow. Gordon, you coming out next month, right, dude? Let me get to that here in a hot second. I'm going to finish Mike's question, then I'm going to get to that. It says, having a hard time. I've watched a bunch of tutorials, but I still can't get them. Thanks, man. You are the best snowboard content on YouTube. Let's go, dude. I appreciate that. Let's go. Two things I think that are a really big deal is having a board that allows you to flex. And like we could argue that you can nose press almost any board, but does that board make the nose press way harder or way easier? And I definitely find a softer board making nose presses significantly easier. That could include like a reverse camber board, a hybrid board, camber board that's super soft. Your equipment is gonna play a large factor in that. But the next part is being able to really sink your belly button down and then shift your belly button really past the nose of your snowboard. And what's most scary, honestly, is that you're pushing your whole body down the hill, but you have to overcommit to that. Now, what you can do is like start really small and nose press the flat ground, nose press a box. Really feel what it takes, because the more you're on a slippery surface, the more you have to overcompensate that slick by getting into it more. So the equipment may have a big deal, but sink your belly button low and really drive that whole body over the nose of your board. And then the last component is you can retract your back knee to give yourself a little extra pull on that board. Hopefully that helps. And then we also got the $40 donation from our boy Gordon. Says, any tips for snake runs? Let me see if I can find this one for you. I don't specifically have a video about snake runs, but we could simulate the same thing in mogul fields. So let me find this video for you real quick. Let me see if I can find this video. Trying to find a video of my dude, so you probably want to hang out with me, right, and watch a little bit. Okay, so we're in a mogul field right now. Some of these tactics still apply, which a snake run, a basin, late season could be really freaking sick. Let's see, notice where my lead shoulder is. I'm about to make a toe side turn, so my lead shoulder is stacked over my lead knee, so that when I start to apply pressure to my lead knee, essentially my whole body is gonna go in that direction. If I take my lead shoulder and I point it to the left in this example, and I just want to make sure that you guys see me out here. If my lead shoulder is pointed left, but I'm trying to go right, I contradict that movement, especially in these berm turns that you're talking about, a snake run. You really got to flow into that. So you got to make sure your shoulder is leaning in that direction, whether you're going heel side or toe side. And then as you're in that, the control phase or the midpoint of the turn, you can turn your board sideways, just like this video. Talk about turning your board sideways so that you're managing your speed and then being able to transition from edge to edge. So look at that, boom. And then now I'm starting to go into the next, that's not what I wanted. Snowboard Addiction, amazing, by the way. I need a link with Snowboard Addiction. I actually ride for them, but we just haven't linked at all. Now, I'm now making that turn. Where's my lead shoulder? Where's my eyes? Where's my knee? Everything is now anticipating that turn as if it's a snake run. So hopefully that helps a lot. Hopefully that helps. But do you have an A basin pass? Anybody, it would be really sick to do like a shred day and make a freaking snake run. Good question though. Any recommendations for a good park snow pants? I'm looking for bib style, loose fitting. Burton has some sick bibs. I rode bibs for 2 seasons, and I recently was like, no thanks. I ended up getting away from bibs. And I'll just tell you my reason, honestly, was just like I found them very inconvenient because every time I had to go to the bathroom, it's like you have to, drop like 1,000 layers. So I didn't dig that. But Burton has some sick ones. I don't know any specific examples, but instead of I just wear normal pants now, but I wear a onesie, like a ninja suit, so that if I fall or anything, I'm protected from like my bottom up or like the bottom of my body up. Ben Weigelt says, yo, dude. He says, yo, dog. We vibing? You riding pipe, bro? Yo, check this out. Oh, we gotta put this in some 1080 for you guys. We can't have this 720 shenanigans. Not the biggest, trust me, I know. Boom. It's not the biggest. I'm gonna be transparent. Not the biggest for sure, but half pipe is where I broke my back like 15 years ago. Yeah, it's about 15 years ago I broke my back in the half pipe. So I ride it a little bit, but I'm definitely not sending it like I used to. I have fun in it. I don't really play around with it much. I've definitely lost interest. But tomorrow I break on my Instagram. I break this exact trick down. But pipe's fun. I'm just terrified of it. Shane says, TB, another side hit video request. Yes, dude. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? I need to do another one. Jed says, no one rides 0-0. I used to ride 0-0 when I was a kid, and then it hurt my knees, and then now I go here. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Joel says, I ride my bindings at duck stance. Yeah, I ride 15-15 on my stance because it's definitely sick. Redmond, what up, dog? How we doing? Is Redmond? Hi, Fire, what up? Marshall Robbins, Tommy, what angles do you ride your bindings at? Look at there we go. 15, -15. With that said, I am symmetrical and I'm centered. So I'm symmetrical left and right, but then I'm in center of my board as well. Let's see. Resi Net Rider says, thanks, TB. I will rewatch that video. My son Coulter rides A Basin a lot, so may go over there one day when I am up there. Let's go. We should go get dinner like we were trying to do last time. I'm so down. That sounds freaking awesome, man. Oh, thank God. Charlie's. The LSIA is troubling me. Fact says, do you ollie off the lip when you jump or do you glide off? Ooh, that's a great question. Sometimes I ride 12-12. Sometimes I ride 33+9 because why not? I mean, it depends on your outcome, right? If you're trying to be riding left, right, regular switch, or are you trying to carve boards? It depends on what's your outcome. What's your name? Redmond. My name's Tommy. Rip, rip. What was it? We had a good question on here. Oh, jump. So I have a sick video that is in my library here. I think we're going to call it jump. We're just going to type in jump. That's not how you spell jump. Jump. How to jump. 5 jumping mistakes. This one is a really good video. Also, when to pop versus ollie on a snowboard, the TV's versus series. This video is freaking fire. So theoretically, you pop off of a jump. Let me give you a good example. Yeah, let's just use this one again. Let's use this one again. Oh, wait. Okay, we're going to go 1080 for us, boys and girl. All right, so you're going to notice that when I extend both my knees at the same time. My knees are extending at the same time. And then I'm able to be in a balanced position. What ends up happening is oh, you guys didn't even see it, dude. We're blowing it. Blowing it. There we go. Let's do this again. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're doing a pop. So when you're in this, what you're going to do is you're going to extend both feet at the same time. So notice that my body position here is that my knees are equally bent. And then I pop, because what will end up happening is if you ollie, which simply means you retract your lead knee, you build your pressure, it's very easy for you to catapult forward, and it's not a good day. But check out those videos. I got a couple options. Is gear cheaper off-season? Yeah, you can get last year's gear versus this year's gear is definitely a big one. Have you been to competitions as a spectator X Games? Yes, I've watched Dew Tour, X Games, Grand Prix. They're so fun. Pipe is really fun to watch for sure. Rachel J, thank you for answering this question, but how much forward lean do you put on your bindings? I personally ride 0 forward lean. Essentially, my thought is this is my forward lean. Yeah. this is my forward lean and here's my boot. If I have forward lean pushing on my boot and I barely make a movement, I'm going to get a response, which some people want. I personally want to have a little bit of leniency. So let's say that I accidentally lean too far forward. Well, I'm not going to create much response immediately. What if I lean too far back? I'm not going to create too much response immediately where I slip out and get bodied. Where I like to have a little bit more leniency or room for error on rails, on jumps. Yes, I may have to exert slightly bit more energy to create a result, but we're talking percentage. My body's overcompensated for that and knows that limit for the last 15 years that it doesn't even I don't even know it, but I like to have a little bit more leniency. Yeah, screen, yeah, bot, I know, thanks. Checking in, thanks for all of the great content, Rusty Nail Riders, dude. Thank you so much for hopping in, dude, with the $40 donation too, you pop it off. You guys are amazing. Nose or tail grabs easier to first learn? I think nose grabs are easier to learn. Here we go. So if you go check Instagram about a while ago, that was very not helpful, but here's a breakdown. So here's a nose grab, or sorry, tails grab into nose grab. Now the biggest thing with the tail grab is you can't look behind you and try to grab you. Oh, I'm blowing it. Tail grab. Nose grab. Now, when you go for a tail grab, you can't see it. You can't look at it, right? You can't look behind you. You got to feel it. So you got to have that awareness, which makes it harder. But the challenge that you may face on a nose grab is that most people will start to reach forward to grab their nose. But look what I'm doing on this. I'm retracting my lead knee. Notice how vertical my board is getting. And I simply put my hand out and my board comes up to me. Watch. Boom. My board comes up to me. My hand goes out. Notice how much I'm not leaning forward. So nose grabs can be easier, but if you use this mechanics, but because you can kind of see it, right? It's a lot easier. Versus tail grabs, you just can't see the thing. Such a bot. Ooh. Shred with Drew says, I learned nose first, then learned tail, then lost the steeziness of my nose grab. Dude, that's crazy. Hey guys, I'm going to end that there. My voice is getting raspy. We've almost been at this bad boy for 2 hours. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. You guys are all amazing. If any of you guys are interested in supporting the channel at all, I am making a big push on these stickers. If you guys are going to buy any stickers, tag me on Instagram. I'll give you a shout out. We're almost to 80,000 followers on YouTube, and we just hit 40K here, or 80 on Instagram, 40 here. But if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, stickers is a great way to do it. Tag me on Instagram. And then Mike says, we're blowing it. Make a dope sticker. Dude, I can make those stickers for sure. And then, yeah, all of you guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you guys keeping up the positive vibes. My goal here is just to share the love and just put out, try to get you guys as awesome as possible and keep you guys, doing things proper, trying to help you out. I got your back. And then Borealis says, or just become a member. Yeah, you guys become a member. I got a fire video coming out on Friday, so put the notifications on. It's about turning, and it applies to 99.9% of the snowboarding population. So I'll definitely recommend watching that. Share with a friend. Help the boy out. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end that there. My voice is just raspy AF right now. So we're going to bring this here. Here we go. All right, guys, nothing but love. We out. And then my favorite part is trying to end this thing without being too cringy or awkward.